Political journey that began 22 years ago, culminating today in a new life as Pakistani leader. Poised to deliver his victory speech, Imran Khan appeared impatient. After all the big promises about a new Pakistan, the cricket star, with his almost mythical status, must now deliver.
Accountability will start with me, then my ministers, and then we will work our way down.
He promised economic transformation.
My inspiration is that Pakistan should be a welfare state where we take responsibility for the poor people.
While his supporters have been celebrating across the country, his victory has been overshadowed by accusations of voting irregularities. The results are being contested by opposition parties, including the Pakistan Muslim League of Nawaz Sharif, the ousted Prime Minister, jailed 2 weeks ago. With votes still being counted, his brother Shahbaz appeared at a press conference saying he rejected the results totally. Pakistan's military has come to Khan's defense, rejecting accusations of interference as malicious propaganda. Throwing their weight behind Mr. Khan during the campaign, the military, accused of targeting his political rivals to ease his path to power, remain the key power broker.
The military, for its part, will be watching him closely, because do remember that former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif was, of course, for many years seen to be a protege of the army until he went rogue. And I think the military will want to ensure that there isn't a repeat performance.
From its earliest days, Pakistan saw a succession of military leaders. There was a return to civilian rule in the early 1970s. But Prime Minister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto was overthrown by General Zia and later executed. Bhutto's daughter Benazir returned from exile and won a landslide victory. She was later assassinated. With Pakistan pulled between military and civilian rule, three-time Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif was constantly in and out of favour, and prisoned too. The military's hand was seen in his ousting from office last year, opening the way for their new man. Khan's political turnaround has been as radical as his personal one. Revered as a national icon after leading Pakistan's cricket team to World Cup victory, he was renowned as an international playboy before marrying the British heiress Jemima Goldsmith. Khan then threw himself into Pakistani politics, using his political party to fight what he saw as the endemic corruption of Pakistan's old-style family dynasties. Without a traditional tribal support base, Khan has widened his appeal by casting himself as a populist. He's adopted conservative positions on women's rights issues and draconian blasphemy laws, while criticizing Pakistan's role in the US-led war on terror.
Delivering his domestic agenda is going to be hedged in by so many constraints. The military budget, having to go abroad to the IMF at a time when relations with the United States are not very good.
And tackling endemic corruption may be a bigger challenge yet.
Mr. Imran Khan has not yet held power, and as we all know, power does corrupt. So let's wait and see at the end of his 5-year term whether allegations of corruption that have routinely attached to almost every single regime, both elected and military in Pakistan, attach to his as well.
As his supporters continue their celebrations tonight, Khan, with promises to everyone from the military to the poorest in society, may have set himself an impossible task, trying to be all things to all Pakistanis.
Inigo Gilmore reporting. Well, now, earlier I spoke with journalist and author Ahmed Rashid, and I started by asking him, how does he read what happened in this election?
Well, I think it's a mixed bag. I think people wanted change, and they've certainly got a change. A new prime minister who's certainly not corrupt, but he has many weaknesses, and he is yet to be tried in the big arena. And I think at the same time, he has been tainted by the fact that the army has played a very strong role in this election.
Will the result stick?
Well, I think we're in for a very long controversial haul, because what has happened is that the two next largest parties who won seats, the People's Party of former Benazir Bhutto and the party of the former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, both these parties are challenging Imran and saying, we will not accept these results of these elections. Now, if that happens, it would be catastrophic because that means they wouldn't take their seats in parliament. And literally, you would have Imran and his party sitting in parliament with no opposition and nobody else from any other party.
So, I mean, the army is inescapably going to be in politics, right?
Well, absolutely. I mean, as we know, one of the all the differences between Nawaz Sharif and the army were related to policies. The army wants to control foreign policy. Now, is Imran going to pick a fight with the army to try and run foreign policy? Is he going to do the army's bidding, whatever it wants? So, this is a very important question, especially at this stage where relations with Afghanistan have only just begun to slowly mend a bit. Relations with India are terrible. Relations with the United States are even more terrible.
But there, surely, that is perhaps one way in which Imran Khan could make a difference. I mean, he has had an international life. So is there a chance that in some way he will try to personally reach out, or will the army stop him?
No, I mean, first of all, he is he's been quite bullish on India, on America. It's unclear exactly what his foreign policy position is, whether he's going to be willing to go beyond the army and take some initiatives in improving relations with these countries.
And I guess in the end, the central issue is that Imran Khan would not be the new prime minister if it were not for the army.
I think what the army did was essentially to wrap up Nawaz Sharif, put him into jail, on corruption charges, and then try and decimate his party. Now, a lot of his party figures have been jailed, or they've been persuaded to leave the party, or they've been persuaded to join Imran's party. And these kinds of shenanigans have been going on for the last 3 or 4 months.
Ahmed Rashid, thank you so much for talking to us.